No, Diddy's mom is really his auntie has been claiming to be his mom this whole time. She's the one with the white nails. That's why he has that fetish. She been picking him since he was adolescent because his daddy got killed when he was a baby. As soon as he had adolescent, he resembled his dad. So she started picking him. She's the one that picked his head up initially. That's why, oh, allegedly. I might be talking too much. Yeah, but, allegedly, that's why he took Kim Porter out because he has sex with his daughters, allegedly. The twins. The whole family has.
Diddy having threesomes with his mom. We're talking dark secrets of working with Diddy. The feds telling her she's on tapes with famous politicians. You won't believe the boldness. Adria's spilling some serious tea. And you know we gotta break this down right now on Vybe Wire. Shout out to the Lionel B Show, coming with this exclusive interview with Adria.
Okay, it's a cute story. I'm from California. Prior, I had never been on the East Coast in my entire life. I had never been to Florida. I had never been to New York, nowhere on the East Coast. And a guy I was dating, Anthony Gallo, he's from Cali. We were both from Cali. He got an opportunity. He got scouted by a guy in LA who was a reputable scouting agent. It was initially Wilhelmina Models. And so they gave him the opportunity to come to New York for an audition. When he went out there, he ended up getting a lot of callbacks, but he was back in LA. And they said, well, you're getting all these callbacks, but if you're going to model for real, we need you out here. So he had never been on the East Coast either. So he was like, and at this time, my family had found out that I had did adult movies. Now, mind you, I had an ex-boyfriend, Jake Steed. He was my boyfriend at first, and he manipulated me into the adult film industry. I only did 8 movies in a 6-month period of my life in the year 1999, but those 8 movies in 6 months follow me to this day. And I signed a residual contract, and Jake Steed been collecting all the money. He done put me on Pornhub. I'm everywhere. And they said he hiding out in South America. He been collecting my money the last 20-some years. I'm the one that gave Ray J and Kim Kardashian to connect. If you look at the production team, you can see we have the same production team. You see mine was filmed first. Me, Ray J, Brandy, we all grew up in the same church, Church of Christ. Brother Norwood, their father is my vocal coach. So that's how we already knew each other. But they got famous with theirs because Kim Kardashian had a little bigger of a name because of her dad.
Oh, girl, that's some real tea right there. Can you believe it? She did a few movies way back when, and those 8 little tapes have been haunting her ever since. And the messiest part? Her ex, Jake Steed, got her wrapped up in that life, signed her on a contract, and then went ghost, hiding out in South America, collecting her money for 20 years. Like, he's been cashing in while she's just trying to move on. And don't even get me started on the Kim K and Ray J connection. Adria was out here in the game first. And it sounds like she gave them the whole hookup. Same production team and all. It's wild how Kim got that fame boost thanks to her family name. But it was Adria who paved the way. She's got connections with Ray J and Brandy from way back in church. It's like the industry's been banking off her life. And she's just now getting to share her truth.
So when Anthony got scouted, we ended up, my family had found some member of our church, my church from 9 years old had found out I did adult movies. They brought it to the minister who brought it to my parents. And when I came home from work, I was working as a telemetry technician in the critical care unit at Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach. And when I came home from my shift, my parents had it on the big screen. Me with a it in my mouth. The valedictorian, literally, the sheltered one from the suburbs who had never even had sex before in their knowledge. The innocent one, their love child on the big screen with it. So when I shame my family, like it was the worst day of my life, I still feel the memory, and it haunts me the same way Diddy haunts me to this day. I can still remember the way I felt, how my parents looked at me, and then
Can you even imagine walking in on your family with your business plastered up on the big screen? They ain't just hearing rumors. They got it right there playing out in front of them. That's gotta be one of the worst ways for a family to find out, right? And the way she talks about that haunting feeling, ooh, it gives me chills. Her life got flipped upside down the moment she stepped into that world. She was just an innocent, sheltered girl from the suburbs, thinking she was getting a fresh start. Little did she know, she was stepping right into a storm that had been brewing for years. It's a cold reminder of how quick that glitz and glam can turn on ya.
So when Anthony got the opportunity to move to New York, I was like, man, hell yeah, because I did the movies in 99, but they didn't find out until 2004. And that was the same time Anthony got asked to move to New York. So I said, man, I'm going with you. And then when we got out there, Anthony was going to go see whatever. He ended up getting an audition with Ford models, and then Ford signed him. That was Cassie Ventura's same agency. And so we were from Cali, and we had an apartment in the middle of Manhattan. So all the models in between their go-sees and their auditions would come hang out at our apartment. And we had the weed, and that's when weed was hella illegal. So we was from Cali, we had the weed. Anthony looked good. I was working at Larry Flint's Hustler Club, so I was already the hottest stripper because Manhattan is only 11 miles, about 13 miles. I'm from Cali, the West Coast. All the East Coast people grew up together. They don't know me and Anthony like that, so they're intrigued. I look good, he look good. It's 20 years earlier. I'm 46 right now. I'll be 47 in January. So imagine me in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? Body was extra banging, and even now, everything's real, butt real, lips real, nose real. I've never had a million behind me, so just imagine that. Anthony is signed to Ford Models. Cassie is coming over to our apartment, hanging out. We're all friends. We were convenient right there in the middle of the city. So in between your auditions, your casting, you would come smoke weed and hang out at the bomb couple from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? We had the doorman building. We was popping, and so we all had our own private stories of because East Coast music was a soundtrack to our lives. From the West Coast, like we was fans of everybody: Mary J. Blige, Biggie, 112, Craig Mack, Mace, Black Rob, Young Money, Dirty Money, Diddy, everybody, Lil Kim, shout out to Lil Kim. I got to meet her with T-Pain. She's very nice. She was very nice to me. So when we got there, we all had our own, when me and Anthony got there, we had our own vision of what we would do if we ever met these certain people, Jay-Z, Diddy, and all that. And then Cassie did too. Her and Anthony were inspiring models. And Cassie wanted to sing and stuff. Anthony, he just more wanted to model, smoke weed, look good, get his up type shit. Cassie, she wanted to model, but she wanted to sing. She wanted to be an entertainer. And so we all had dreams to meet Diddy.
They come rolling in from Cali, dreams as big as the city skyline. And then bam, they find themselves tangled up with Diddy. Talk about being thrown into the deep end. She's thinking this is her golden ticket, her big break into the industry. But what she doesn't see is the web of mess she's about to get dragged into. Sometimes those big dreams come with way more strings than anyone bargains for. And it sounds like this girl was way too trusting at first, thinking success and fame were just within reach. Little did she know, right? It's a hard lesson that not all that glitters is gold, especially in this city.
So then, fast forward, Anthony ends up getting called to audition for Diddy for the Sean John campaign. He never invites me along to his auditions or his go-sees, but this particular day he invited me because he knew I was a fan. Like, he knew I was going to be mad he went to the damn thing and you didn't take me, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to meet people and stuff. I was already a dancer. I was already moving and shaking. I already had a gang of athletes and whatever, but the music industry, because I rap and sing, that's where I wanted to get into. So, long story short, we sitting in the waiting room, and one of his homeboys that frequents our apartment comes out of the thing, and he's looking mellow mad, like, shh. And so, low-key, me and Anthony laughing. We was like, he must not have booked it. Like, he's salty. Like, we laughing to each other, like, And then they called him. And then when they called him, I'm like, yeah, you got this, my nigga. Like, I'm dapping on. And then that's when two-way pages was out. So when they called, I flipped my two-way up. So I'm on my two-way lining up some money for later on. All of a sudden, I just hear, man, fuck that. And the door had flew up, and it was, I'm like, what? And Anthony is a very good-looking guy. His mother is, African-American black lady, and his father is an Italian man. And actually, the wine, Gallo wine, that's his family. And Allegedly, his dad got like basically shunned from his family for choosing up on a black woman. And he went on to have a few kids, and all of them are boys, and they're all very good looking guys. But his dad chose to be poor to follow his heart and be with a black woman. And so allegedly, his dad still to this day rides a bike in Northern California. He's from Northern California. He had moved down to LA. And so even though he was a good looking guy mixed with black and Italian, he wasn't no punk. Like, it wasn't no gay in him. It wasn't no, bitch in him. Like, he was like a thug, but he a pretty boy. So, like, I guess they underestimated him, thinking that because he was so good looking that he go that way. So he was more than offended. He was on some gangster shit. Like, he got me fucked up. So when we were in the elevator, I was like, man, what happened? He was like, man, he gave me that look like, man, shut the. And I was like, all right, because it was people in the elevator. So I was like, all right. So when we got, out the elevator, I'm like, what's up? I'm like, why you tripping? He was like, man, nigga asked me to suck his. I said, who asked you to suck his? I said, Puffy. We was calling Puffy back then. Puff. Well, I said, no, he didn't. And it broke my heart, broke her arm. And I was like, nah. And he was like, he asked me to suck his dick. I was like, oh. I was like, well, then I see why, you know what I mean? For sure. Like, it's a wrap. That. He's like, I don't need that job. That's bad. So I was like, for sure. You know what I mean? We got in the cab. We went back to our apartment. His homeboy ended up coming through. We smoked blunts. We laughed at it. We was like, that, you know what I mean?
Honey, this is just beyond messy. I mean, Diddy really out here testing people in ways that just leave you speechless. Like, her man is thinking he's getting a shot at something big, and instead he gets hit with this twisted request. Ain't nobody signing up for that kind of nonsense. You got folks showing up ready to work, and he's just pulling out the wildest, most disrespectful moves. And can we talk about how strong her man was for walking away? Some people might have just played along to get ahead, but he said, nah, I'm good. You gotta respect that. No dream job is worth losing your dignity like that. Diddy really thought he could pull a fast one, but they were smart enough to laugh it off and leave. Honestly, that's the only way to handle people who try to use their power for these twisted games.
But then, because I was a dancer, I'm also in the regular go-go club scene. And I ran into Tamiko Thomas, who ended up being, I call her a handler, one of Diddy's handlers, wranglers. And she approached me with opportunity to help me and Anthony out. If I would dance at Diddy's white parties, Anthony can go ahead and book the campaign. I agreed to dance at the white parties. Anthony booked the Sean John campaign. He was everywhere. He was on billboards, buses, bus stops, cabs, in the magazine, all at the same damn time. He was everywhere. But right now, if you go and try to Google any one picture of that Sean John campaign, Diddy done scrubbed it all. I can't even hardly find a picture. Yeah, because when he booked it, after they had like a lounge party where it was like a celebration, like, hey, the new campaign, let's all. And it was a very small lounge, like. Only the models was there, the, creative director, the photographer, Diddy, a couple other people, and that's it. And so you went over it. So it was kind of like, thank you for letting your girl work my party. You know what I mean? You came out great, my nigga. He didn't say my nigga. He said, what did he say? You came out great, my guy. You're killing it, baby. You killing it. You know what I mean? So he basically tried to like go over the fact that he had asked him to suck his, because he tried him and he didn't fall for it. So. He felt stupid. He didn't know he was that thug, because I had been an ex, porn star, and I was currently an exotic dancer. For me, it was regular scheduled programming. Like, it's just what rich people with money do. Like, he tried it. He wanted to see, you know what I mean? To me, it was more funny, but Anthony took more offense. Like, no, like, he got me fucked up. So I had let it go. I was over it. When they asked me to work the parties, I was like, hell yeah, I would have did that shit damn near for free. You know what I mean? Just for the networking. I was a groupie at that point. And I didn't realize how pretty I was. I didn't realize they looked at me like that. And I extra didn't know that Diddy had gotten word of my former career in the adult entertainment industry that I was manipulated into by an ex-boyfriend that I only did for 6 months out of my life, that I wasn't trying. I didn't have aspirations to be a P star, none of that. I got manipulated into it so somebody could basically get my residuals and be basically caking off of me the last 20 plus years. I was very sheltered, naive. My parents were from LA, and so they raised me in the suburbs because they didn't want me to experience anything they saw growing up in the hood. And so when I went to Long Beach State and they put me in the co-ed dorms, to the left were the athletes and to the right were the girls who were stripping to get through school because they were all from LA, Compton, and Long Beach. I'm from Chino, California, a little nerdy girl with valedictorian. So when they were stripping to get through college, I kicked it with them. And that's how I ended up with Jake Steed. And he saw the innocence and naiveness in me. He got me to do their movies. And then when Diddy found out about it, they used that against me. And he viewed me as somebody that was sexually exploited, worthy. And yeah, and he played on my heart. It's called coercion of the heart. When I told him that I rap and I sang, and he said I was dope. And he said he was going to bring me and I had a girl group out. Like, I'm the Beyonce of my group. They even told you that I was the dopest one. And he played on the fact that he knew I liked to rap, sing, and perform. And that's why he would bring me back year after year saying, you're getting closer, like initiation, you're getting closer. But it never happened. But he kept making me, sexually perform while he was wheeling and dealing and, getting jewelry from Jacob the Jeweler, cutting a deal with this person, recording me and him over there so he can extort that person out of woo-woo. We all didn't know, but he had a plan the whole time. And that's why he made people sign NDAs that said, you can't talk about what we went through until 20 years after I died. But I never signed that. Aubrey O'Day and Danity Kane and them, they got hit with that. I was already out the game. I was done from 2004 to 2009. By the time he was running around with them, I was already,
This NDA business is straight up wild. Imagine someone holding that kind of power over you for decades just to keep their dirty laundry hidden. It's like being forced into silence just to protect their image. You know there are a whole lot of skeletons in those closets when folks go to such lengths. Props to her for speaking up now, though. She's risking it all, pulling back the curtain on secrets that so many tried to bury. This is bigger than just her now. That's courage on a whole other level.
He would hire me to work as a go-go dancer. They had 3 stages, positioned throughout his mansion. It was where he lived. It was his residence. It wasn't a club. It wasn't a lounge. And so it just makeshift stages, 3 stages set up in his house, like for us to be checkpoints. Like my stage was over by the bar. Tamiko's stage was over by the food. Old girl's checkpoint was over there by the rooms if you wanted to go do something. So it's like, I think he kind of told the guests, hey, if you want to drink, look for, just look for a stage and you're going to find something you need. You know what I mean? So we were elevated above the crowd. And so, but we were instructed to only drink from certain liquor bottles. It's the girls' champagne, it's the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the boys' champagne. And all the champagne was laced with ketamine, like horse tranquilizer, ecstasy. That's not allegedly. We were all doped up. And to this day, I believe we all, and I know I do, have a chemical imbalance. Like whenever I drink anything, it could be 1 glass of wine, all of a sudden I'm a stripper, I'm a P-star. Like on my mind, I just black out and I'm that. I'm She Diddy.
She's breaking down what sounds like a twisted setup, way beyond just a party vibe. People being placed in specific spots like pawns on a chessboard. It's looking more and more like she was caught up in a bigger scheme and she had no clue what was really going down. She just wanted to work and have some fun. But instead, she's in a place where everything's got strings attached and every move's got a hidden agenda. No one should have to feel like a puppet at their own job, being played by folks behind the scenes. It's a real shame.
Orlando Brown running around like I'm Puff. He not really act like it to everybody else. Everybody looking like he want attention, like he wilding, like. But it's something about when he drugged you that he stood over you, like infusing himself into you while you laid there unconscious, and it's like it became a part of you. Because after a certain amount, they started calling me She Diddy. They're like, man, she act like Diddy. She just like Diddy. And hence, I've been She Diddy for the last 20 years. So I feel Orlando when he be like, man, I'm Puff. It's nice to meet you, I'm Puff. Because when we get faded, like, it's like he come out in us, like, and that's forever. That's why it's haunting us to this day.
It's an absolute nightmare. People with that kind of power should never have access to vulnerable individuals, period. The thought of her blacking out, completely unaware, and him hovering over her, it's beyond words. How can anyone sleep at night knowing they've put someone through something like this? It's a chilling reminder of how dark things can get when power is abused in the worst ways. No one should ever have to go through something like that. It's just horrifying.
Yeah, the reason why he like to take, we have a chakra in our anus, guys and girls, and your chakra is a pathway to your soul. So because he's working for Lucifer, his goal is to take souls to hell. So that's why straight men, he wanted to turn them gay. Even if a gay man was gay, he wanted to make him be a pedophile and be with a minor. His thing was to take the soul. So that's why after a certain amount of time, he would make an announcement like, you better go on home because, the party really about to crack now. And all of a sudden, everybody's demon would come out. And that's on God. Like, have you ever gotten like so faded or drunk where your body is doing stuff, but in the morning you have literally no recollection? Like, if it ain't from your homeboy showing you it, like, man, I recorded you, nigga. If it wasn't for him showing you, you would swear up and down you didn't do that shit. But then when he show you the video, you're like, what the? I jumped in the pool. I don't even know how to swim, my nigga. What? Like, I don't even remember that bitch. Like, what?
I know, right? That sounds like some twisted warning. Like he's telling folks to bail before the real darkness sets in. What does that even mean? It's like he's setting up boundaries to control who sees what. She's painting a picture of a world where people are at these parties just to be used, and they're being warned like it's just another day. No one should be put in that situation. It's all about power, and he's lording it over everyone there. Creepy, messed up behavior at its peak. It's seriously unsettling.
It was like that.
That's that blackout drink, and
right,
you don't
but
remember anything.
Imagine everybody blacked out though. It doesn't matter if you a celebrity or. That's why J-Lo left the country. He had her sticking bottles and stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old. She the girl that they put on the private jet. They her with the jelly beans. They put on the private jet. They took her to the studio in New York, and then had the nerve to dress her up in a D&G sweater, do her hair, put makeup on her, and take a picture like a trophy. She only 11 years old in that picture, and that's not allegedly. And then the same girl,
J-Lo was messing around with.
man, there's so many. I drop names on the neck, man. We talking about Diddy right now, but yeah. And then that's the same girl that in the magazine is laying on the table butt naked with fruit and food and stuff off of her, and we all eating off of her. I sucked the strawberry off her. She 14 years old laying on that table. She had a body like a grown woman. You don't think anybody looking at that thinking that's a kid laying there. You're assuming it's a grown woman. So he made everybody be with a minor, against your will, and he recording the shit.
It really is heartbreaking. Hearing about a young girl, a minor, being used as a centerpiece is just devastating. What kind of life is that for anyone, let alone someone so young? It's a harsh reminder that these parties aren't just harmless fun. They're places where people are degraded and used in the most inhuman ways. It's incredibly sad, and it makes you think about how deep the damage must run for everyone involved. These people were robbed of their dignity, all for someone else's entertainment. It's a stark reminder of the dark side of power and exploitation.
Same girl needed to do a number 2 on stage. She performing. She told him, I need to go off stage. I need you to bathroom. He told her no. She ended up shit on stage. It was a wet. Went everywhere. And Denzel Washington grabbed up his wife, mobbed up to Diddy, and was like, man, you don't respect nobody. He had to run up out there. That's the incident they're talking about with Denzel Washington. Had to run up out of there. And she was only 14 years. He didn't know she was 14. It was just the fact that she shit on stage and in front of everybody. And then Diddy took her to a room and beat her ass. because she should don't say. Then he would only give her water baths and not let her wash with soap. I'm gonna say allegedly because she's still Jane Doe right now. I'm gonna say allegedly. You know what I mean? It's allegedly, but she wants a DNA on 2 of his kids because they took 2 babies out of her. They kept her locked up and they had her babies at the house. 2 babies they took out of her stomach. That's not allegedly.
You're absolutely right. There's no excuse for this kind of treatment. What kind of person thinks it's okay to treat someone like they're less than human? Withholding basic things like soap is dehumanizing on every level. This poor girl is being traumatized over and over, all for his sick power trip. This kind of abuse isn't about love, respect, or even money. It's about breaking people down until they have nothing left. It's disgusting and absolutely unacceptable. No one should have to endure that kind of suffering.
And allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, she had a threesome with Diddy and his own mama / auntie, and she had a threesome with Nelly and Diddy. That's not alleged.
No.
Allegedly. Sorry, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti. Congratulations on the baby. I love y'all together. It was 20 years ago. Don't get mad at 20. We talking about 20 years ago. Don't get emotional. We just telling our truth. People, please. Don't get mad. It's some of y'all's favorites. It's gonna kill y'all. It's gonna devastate y'all when you hear the names involved, because we all grew up on these people. We all love these people. We'd have never thought these people would have been involved in the things that they're involved in. We're just telling our truths, everybody. And it was 20 years ago. So please don't judge us or say we lying. We're being nice enough to let y'all know what's going on from an insider point of view. If you were not even there, don't tell somebody they lying when you weren't even there. No, Diddy's mom is really his auntie, has been claiming to be his mom this whole time. She's the one with the white nails. That's why he has that fetish. She's been picking him since he was adolescent, because his daddy got killed when he was a baby. As soon as he had adolescent, he resembled his dad. So she started picking him. She's the one that picked his head up initially. That's why, allegedly. I might be talking too much. Yeah, but, allegedly, that's why he took Kim Porter out, because he has sex with his daughters, allegedly. The twins. The whole family has sex. The same girl I was telling you about, that the Jane Doe, the 11 and 14-year-olds, the same girl he made strap Justin Bieber down, and she had to strap him down while Diddy and 2 of his sons took turns, and she had to sit there and watch, and Justin Bieber was crying and begging to be let up, and when she went to unloosen him, Diddy socked her in the face in front of Justin Bieber. So we trying to get with Justin because he would cooperate. Allegedly.
Adria's sharing some shocking allegations here. She's saying that Diddy has been involved in inappropriate relationships with the twins, and his mother, who's also described as his aunt, is allegedly involved with Diddy too. Adria's painting a picture of a family entangled in some seriously disturbing behavior, with Diddy at the center of it all. These claims, if true, suggest a deeply troubling dynamic within the family, with power and control at play in unsettling ways. It's a heavy story, and it raises a lot of questions about what's been going on behind closed doors. If she raised him, that's his mama, no question. Point blank, period. And if they were messing around like that, it's beyond nasty. There's just no excuse for that kind of mess. It's a serious situation, and it's got everyone shook. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and this right here is proof of that.
Justin, get at me, Justin. We be confidential. We ain't got to tell the press, nobody. Holler at me, Justin. I'll put y'all together. She was there, you was there. I was already out of it. She told me that story, but Justin, I got you.
Damn. Also, you saying Diddy and Nelly was in bed together?
He's had a threesome with Diddy and Nelly, yes. The same Jane Doe. This Jane Doe was around from 11 years old to about 15 years old. Bore 2 kids. I'm not going to say which one she believe are hers that he's been raising. You know what? On a side note, where is the white girl? First party I did, it was above board, it was, I networked. Excuse me, I saw everybody. I was there front line, I was calling back home to the Cali people, like, hey, you'll never believe this, like, for real, like, and then, next party, it was like, yeah, you want to rap, you want to sing, right? You dance at the club, right? He started out like he was pointing me in the right direction. Because, everybody's been to the strip club. And every girl that's been a stripper knows you love the guys that come in. And if they're not the ones spending money, they point you to their homeboy that is. Have you ever seen a bachelor party come in and they be like, it's not me, but get him. He's the one paying for everybody. So it was kind of like he did that. Like he took the mindset that I had of being a dancer of like, while you at my parties, I'm going to point you in the right direction. You take care of them and I'm going to put you on. That's how I understood it. Coercion of the heart. And because I wanted to be on so bad and he was actually real, Puffy. It wasn't like it was Puffy's assistant. It was like real Puffy saying it. I believed it. And I'm like, I had already been manipulated by Jake Steed and did, movies that got me nowhere. I was dancing at Larry Friend's Hustler Club only because me and Anthony Gallo had got robbed for everything. And it was go back to Cali, broke with everybody laughing, or you start dancing. That's how I ended up starting to dance. I'm dancing. We have a nice lifestyle. We got a doorman building, you know what I mean? But Diddy said, I just got to basically do the same thing I've already done that's got me nowhere and it's going to get me somewhere. Coercion of the heart. I was with it.
It's like she's caught up in this grand illusion. Diddy's got her thinking she's on the fast track to stardom. Like all she has to do is play along, handle his people, and her big break is just around the corner. But for real, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing on her dreams, using that I'll do anything to make it mentality. And when she talks about coercion of the heart, you can feel it, because that's what he's using against her. She's torn between sticking it out, hoping for that big break, or walking away and risking ending up with nothing. It's a messy game. She's working hard, thinking she's climbing that ladder, but really, she's stuck in the same spot, running on a hamster wheel. It's a tough situation, no doubt.
But then as he kept adding on, so that night I was asked to wear a black dress at a white party, but I didn't think nothing of it. Like, he always supplied the uniform. That's another thing. In the Vybe magazine, let me go back to Vybe magazine real quick. I never signed a release. I wasn't paid anything. I didn't even know I was going to be in Vybe magazine. I woke up to Anthony getting a phone call from one of his model homeboys. Like, hey, your girl in Vybe magazine? Because back then, when a new story or a new campaign came out, it was on the newsstand and everybody went out to get it. It was an East Coast thing, because in Cali, we didn't do shit like that. Nobody rushed out to get the latest magazine, but in New York, they did that shit. So we had just had the night before, so we laying in the bed naked, and I wake up to him smushing my head in the pillow, like, what the fuck you doing in Vybe magazine? I'm like, what? I'm in Vybe magazine, like, what? He was like, yeah, Nelly just called. That's his homeboy Zanell. Shout out to Zanell. He went on doing a lot of stuff with Diddy, Zanell, Figueroa, I don't know. Yeah. But he was like, yeah. So I'm like, what? He's like, so we got jumped up, put our clothes on, doorman opened up the door for us. Right there was a newsstand. Diddy's on the cover on the boxing gym, you know what I mean? Gloves or whatever. We open up, flip through it, and there I am. That picture that you see, big as day. I had no idea. That picture was taken in 2004. They didn't run a story to 2006. I had no idea that they put in there, Diddy supplied the clothing. Then they put the caption, guest strikes a revealing pose. I wasn't a guest. Who would I be a guest of? Who knew me? You know what I mean? Did Mary J. Blige say, come on, Sheree? And then if I am a guest, the audacity of me thinking I could just come in some little ass go-go shorts and a bikini top to somebody's exclusive white party with all kind of millionaires, and I'm a guest of who? But I'm their guest, and I'm going to just show up like that, not in a nice, elegant gown or nothing. I'm going to just show up all hoochie mama? No. I was on his event staff, but that's how they got away with putting me in there without trying to give me no employee credit. Right. And then I found out later, another reason why they put me in the Vybe magazine is so all the guys who wanted extras would know who to look for at the parties and to laugh at me because they took advantage of me after they drugged me and I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly, I'm not gonna say, someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a train on me, including certain
Whoa.
people that are presidential. Once I found that out, I've been living my life for the last 20 years not knowing that had even happened to me. And now because they found out that I know that I'm on them tapes with them doing that to me, these are people that have smiled in my face since then. I had no idea that. But if there's a certain way the tape is going to come out and there's a certain way that it never will. You got to stay tuned.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? 20 years with no idea what really happened, while those around her smile and pretend like everything's normal. That's a whole new level of betrayal. Imagine finding out that people you thought were friends or colleagues have been hiding something so dark about you. It's devastating. She's been carrying around all this pain and confusion, and now it's finally coming to light. The strength she's showing by facing this head-on is unreal. It takes so much courage to confront such a painful past and bring the truth to light.
It angered me, actually, because, I went in, under the presumption that we were all working together to make the, event hot. And I was doing my part as a hired entertainer to bring my West Coast vibes and to make, the part. And I was always complimented. That's why I kept being invited back. When there was multiple, girls all around the city, all around the tri-state, you go up and down the East Coast, you can get a girl in from Boston, Connecticut, Jersey real quick. But they kept rehiring me because I made that shit hot. And I was, I was genuine, naive, and I was like a fan. And they played on it. I didn't realize how pretty I was. And they took advantage. And he likes to steal your light. He's an energy vampire. He steals your light. He takes a piece of you, and then he infuses the devil's seed in you from him and puts a little evil from him into you that you can never take out of you. It's like soul ties. I want to be hypnotized, actually. I want to be hypnotized and want y'all to tell me what I said and what I did while I was. And that's a lot, and that's what's going on within the Hollywood and the music industry, and that's why people are leaving the country and everything, because that's what they do, is practice in satanic and demonic activity. That's why when they're blessed with the highest status, the most money, the best cars, the best food, the best everything, they choose to spend their time on a daily basis doing evil, not doing good, not going around to the homeless shelters for single moms, the single mom shelters, and saying, I'm going to pick 3 women who ride the bus every day, who got 3 kids or more. 3 kids, three women getting cars today. That's what I'm going to do when I get my money. I'm going to wake up and go to the women's shelter. And they say you have a good report and you ride the bus every day to get to work and you paying your kids daycare and all that. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. I don't want no press. You won't even know I did it. I don't want to wake up every day doing shit like that. Fuck a Gucci bag. I don't need a bag to fix my teeth. My teeth already straight. I need a bag to fix my streets and to save souls. That's my goal.
Girl, let me tell you, Hollywood is straight up wicked. People think it's all glitz, glam, and red carpets. But baby, behind those velvet ropes, it's a hot mess of control, shady deals, and folks losing their minds to keep their power. Sis, Adria ain't lying one bit. You got people who got everything: money, fame, cars, and instead of getting back or doing right, they out here playing with fire, doing who knows what just to stay on top. Honey, no wonder some folks pack up, say peace out, and leave the country. Sometimes that's the only way to keep your soul safe in all that mess.
As I look back on it, and now everything is coming out, I would almost say Jacob might be a victim himself, because he already did that time back then for helping laundering that money. That's not allegedly. He did time. So now he's back in a twist that involves, Diddy and his association, and his wife was there that night. And maybe Diddy set it all up and lined it all up so he can get footage on him to blackmail him, use me, have me thinking I'm gonna come out, you know what I mean? And maybe like Jacob is a butt. It did go down. My dress was flipped up. They had me wear a black dress that night when everybody else was wearing white. They put Tamiko in the pink dress. She was the one passing all the money and doing all the back and forth, almost like a handler or a wrangler. And I got an extra $1,000 that night when I did the extras. That's when I thought, okay, if I just do the extras, like, eventually it's going to be an end to the rainbow and I'm going to be on.
So was it just $1,000 the whole night, or was it like $1,000 per person, or how did that work?
Yeah, I only got $500 to do the go-go dancing. So when it was above board, the first part, I just made $500 plus the experience, networking, all that. When I did the extras, I got my $500 plus $1,000. But next party was, 3 niggas. The next party was 7 niggas, and I still was only getting my $500, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? They was shooting him the $100,000 chain. They was shooting him the keys to the yacht. They was shooting him the penthouse. They was shooting him the awards, while I was sucking in the fucking allegedly. Well, when I moved back after they jumped me in Harlem in December 2009, I had to move back abruptly to California after Anthony Gallo was cheating on me with Rihanna and Megan Good and all his model bitches. After Diddy and all them had me jumped in Harlem. After I left Anthony and got my own spot in Harlem, they had me jump through my same Jane Doe I was telling you about. That actual Mark, Diddy's attorney, signed us out because she was in the mental hospital at the same time. And I heard, now that we're back like Voltron connecting, I'm finding out that Diddy's attorney, Mark, doped her up a gang of times because they took her off the country a gang of times, allegedly. But she about to pop out with her name in her lawsuit. Right now, I'm in consultations with new legal. I have until December 11th to assign a new attorney to my case. I'm taking my time. I'm in consultations with very big, high-profile attorneys. I'm working on the settlement, so I can pop out with my new attorneys who help me settle. Because I already know as soon as the criminal starts in May of 2025, all civil cases are going to go on stay anyway. So I'm working on settling mine because I already know I'm going to be called into the criminal. So that's where I'm at with it. Everybody thinks that I'm in some type of disarray because I haven't popped out, or, it's been said that, my people, withdrew, and that, a withdrawal was because of fire. I don't want to give too much attention, but somebody was being fired, and that's why they publicly withdrew, to try to hurry up and save face and look like they left, because they were running around doing press and add missions that I had not made or authorized, and I'm the client. I can have as many or as little attorneys as I want, and if I feel like I'm being ignored or not paid attention to, and I want to hire additional representation, that's my prerogative. That is not for somebody to control me and tell me I can't and run around doing press that they're not even letting me do. We're not even doing press together. So, yeah, just let that go. And now I got my own legal strategy. And worst case scenario, I go in there and represent my damn self, because the press alone will be great. I don't care if I win or lose, because I've been rich. My daddy just died, LAPD. I got an inheritance.
This story is like a roller coaster that keeps dropping harder with every twist. From her family's shock to her ex doing her dirty by running off with her earnings for decades. It's like she's had betrayal after betrayal. And Diddy? Boo. The boldness of that man thinking he can control and use people like chess pieces on a board. The fact that her boyfriend had to deal with that mess and they both ended up laughing it off says it all. They knew Hollywood was a circus, but this, straight up horror show. Then there's this mess with the attorney supposedly saving face by backing out, only for her to fire them for trying to run the show. Adria's not letting anybody dictate her moves. She's out here grabbing the reins, deciding to wep herself if necessary, and even preparing to tell her truth no matter the outcome. She's not just surviving. She's taking complete control of her story and owning every scandalous detail. And can we talk about how strategic she's being? consulting with high-profile lawyers, understanding her civil and criminal cases, and still holding on to her purpose to speak up, that's courage. But honey, make no mistake, she's ready to scorch the earth if they don't. Adria's out here fighting battles most people can't even imagine, and she's making sure no one puts her back in a box. It's her story, her truth, and the world better buckle up because she's bringing the whole truth forward, loud and clear. Adria's not just taking back her narrative. She's rewriting the whole book. And honey, we're here for every chapter. It's a masterclass in strength, resilience, and taking control when the world tries to write you off. All right, I want y'all to tell me what you think in the comments section, because I'm going to be in the comments section discussing this topic, all right? So tell me what you think, guys, about this whole situation. It's messy, man. It's really messy, girl. That's a wrap on this wild ride. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and turn on those notifications so you never miss out on the hottest gossip and commentary. Thanks for vibing with us, and until next time, keep it locked right here on Vybe Wire.